Growing up as a kid, I was always scared of the dark. Just like many other kids my age, I would run into my parents' room whenever I felt like there was something watching me. In fact, I did it so often that my parents would get frustrated with my bad sleeping habits, and it would result in them being late for work or just staying home the next day because of how tired they were. Then a day finally came when my dad told me, "It's time you start sleeping in your own room from now on. You're getting to be too old to be running in our room at night. You're 11 now, it's time to grow up and be a big boy. Okay?" I sighed and said, "Okay," as he kissed me on my forehead and left for work. The rest of that day just consisted of me playing with my toys and watching TV. Little did I realize that the sun was descending rapidly. My dad came home from work and we all ate dinner. Me not realizing how fast the sun was going down, I started to eat slower to avoid the inevitable. At last the time came and my adrenaline was pumping, heart racing and fingers cold and eyes widened. My dad realized the mess I was in and looked at me and said calmly, "It's going to be fine." His calm voice reassured me that everything was alright, and I finished brushing my teeth and began walking over to my bed. Now standing there with my dad, waiting for him to tuck me in. I lie down in bed. My dad gave me a hug and slowly began to close the door, filling with darkness as the last stream of light fades away, and the room was completely swallowed by darkness at this point. All I could do was take a deep breath and try my best to go to sleep. And for the first minute or so, I was doing well. That is until I got that shocking feeling of something watching me again. Whatever it was, I was instantly terrified of whatever was lurking in the dark. I also began to feel a slight breeze as if my window was open. I started to panic and hyperventilate. I wanted to call for help, but I didn't want to upset my dad over me being scared of the dark, so I sat there, sitting upright in my bed, with this feeling of something just intensely watching me, as if it wanted to hurt me. Then I couldn't take it any longer, and I lost it screaming to the top of my lungs. Just as my dad burst into my room, making me jump a little. He didn't even bother to turn on the lights. He just looked dead at me and said, "What's wrong with you?" in a very aggressive tone I'd never heard before. I simply replied, "It's too dark." So he sighed and flicked on the lights and said, "There, bet." But just before he could finish his sentence, he locked eyes with something in the left upper corner of my bedroom. And when I turned to see what it was, my eyes locked onto what I could only describe as some type of terrifying creature with a human skull for a face, and the rest of its body was nothing but black fur. It realized that it had been spotted and scurried out of the window. My dad grabbed me and ran back to their bedroom. My mom was confused to what was going on. My dad told her to call the cops, and they came and found nothing. I'm 16 now and I still sleep with the lights on.